Hello guys, hi. Welcome to my channel. My name is Runia and today I'm gonna ramble, talk to you about how to get a Russian woman. I will not be talking for all Russian women, and I think it's more gonna be like how to get a post-Soviet woman, because the mentality, the philosophy is very similar to other post-Soviet countries, I guess. And I also, I know that I have more girlies on this channel, so I think that would be just interesting for you guys, girls, to hear me talk about like Russian stereotypes, about Russian women and all of that, because I guess many things are not true. So the first would be like, are Russian women really cold? Are we cold? I'm personally hot, I don't know, guys. But I think the main reason why we are perceived as cold is how we behave during the first time we meet someone. In Russia, the first encounter is not super friendly. Usually people would not be like, hello, how are you? Hi, how are you doing? No, that's not what we do. I noticed like other creators, other ASMR artists would be like, hello guys, hi, how have you been? How are you? And I never ask you this. It doesn't mean that I'm like, I do not care about you, or I don't know, that I'm evil. It's just not like in my culture to ask how are you the first time you meet someone, or like just hi, how are you? Because when we do ask how are you, we wait for like a real, like we want a person to really share. We want to know everything, like basically everything, what's going on, what about your job, about your partner, how's your I don't know, family, kids, whatever. And what I see, like in the US, people would just be like, hi, how are you? I'm good, fine, and you? And we are not looking for this shallow interactions. We want them deep. So that's why I think we are perceived as cold. But if you get to know a Russian person, really get to know, you will see that they are as passionate, as kind, as lovable, I don't know, caring as other people. The next thing, like about Russian women being gold digging, I think it's somewhat true. It's true that Russian women expect a man to care about them, like to pay at the restaurant, to buy flowers, maybe to pay for their apartment when they move in together. Not all of them, but especially now, especially Gen Z, but millennials, I think like 80%. Why is it this way? You see, when you think of Russian women not be willing to work, it's about Russian women not working 2 shifts. So in Soviet Union, when women got their right to vote and to work, and it happened many years before it happened in Western countries, in the US, in European countries. So women started working 2 shifts. they would go on their factory, work there, then come home and take care of their children, cook, clean, and even like care after their husband. Of course, after some time they started to realize that something's off, something's wrong. Why am I working as like as a mule 24/7? That's not fair. And I think this generation, after Soviet Union fell, they just looked at their mothers and realized that they don't want the same thing. They want to be happy. They want to have time for themselves. And sometimes when you want a change, in culture, in mentality, this change happens to be pretty radical at first. So I guess that's why we have this stereotype about Russian women being gold diggers. But yeah, I realized that I'm more like talking about stereotypes, but we will come to how to get a Russian woman. Also, about Russian women being super traditional. I don't think it's true, to be honest. When you think of a traditional woman, you imagine this picture of like a wife, stay-at-home mom from the US in 50s, 60s, wearing this dress, having beautiful blonde curly hair. She's always happy. Here it's never been like this, because one person, one breadwinner, was never able to provide for the whole family, so two people had to work. And I guess it's still the same here. So Russian women, most of them are working, as well as in the US or Europe. They would take a few years off for their maternity leave, right? But women want to work, and women do work here. So I'm not sure about Russian women being too traditional. That's if you want a trad wife, I don't think that you should be specifically looking for a Russian girl, because everyone is different. So about dating culture in Russia, I've been out of the game for like forever, kinda. So I'm not sure. But from what I see, of course, men are expected to do the first move. Of course, they are expected to bring flowers, to come on time, right? Just be caring, yeah. Pay for their dinner, and stuff like that. I think Gen Z girls would try to pay, or at least how they do these videos. They would, oh no, I have the money with me, and they with the empty bag. The thing that's 100% different is dating and being in relationship. I discovered the difference just like a few weeks ago. Basically, I was always thinking that dating and being in a relationship is the same, because in Russia, or maybe in post-Soviet countries, it is the same. But from what I understood, in Western countries, you have the dating phase. When you are going on dates, you basically behave as if you are a real normal couple, but sometimes you would be even like, oh, I will also go on a date with this guy or with this girl. And for example, when I was watching The Sex and the City, I was thinking that's weird, it's kind of cheating. And then Carrie would kiss a guy or whatever, and they're like, oh, she cheated. I'm what's the difference, but the difference is that that time she was dating the guy, and the other time she was in a relationship with him. And I think here it's basically the same. If unless you talk about it, like, I don't know, if you are just seeing someone, we lack the word, we lack the word to describe the dating phase. It's either you are встречаетесь, you are dating, meaning like that you are in relationship, that you have relationship, у вас есть отношения, or you're not. That's all. Is it necessary to speak Russian to get a Russian girl? Well, I guess not. If it's just, I googled and there were like searches, is it necessary to speak Russian to date a Russian girl? I guess not. If you are lucky to find a girl that speaks English, you are not obliged to speak Russian. But I'm sure if you are specifically looking for a Russian girl, you have to speak Russian, otherwise it's not gonna work out. Or you have to be very patient. If like this girl has very bad English, you have to be very patient and give her maybe a few years to become fluent. But honestly, I'm not sure who would specifically look for a specific ethnicity. If you are trying to do that, that's not a goal, I guess. I've seen a lot of stereotypes about, like, I'm watching like this podcast. Oh, I got a 90 days fiance. Where is she from? Thailand, Russia. It's interesting how Thailand and Russia are like at the same level of, I'm not sure. I feel like if an American man, for example, is looking for a Thai woman, he wants a girl to be submissive, but I don't think it's gonna work out with a Russian girl, honestly. Not at all. I've also noticed how Western men are afraid of meeting the girl's father. But here, I think most men are afraid of the girl's mom. We have a specific like word for the mother-in-law, that's your wife's mother, Tёща. And you have so many stories and jokes about Tёщa being being a very annoying person, being a woman that you should be scared of, that you should be hiding your, I don't know, like hobbies, money from, and all of that. And God forbid you have to live with your wife's mother, with your Tёща. That's like the worst nightmare ever. So I think in Russia we do not really have the traditional patriarchy, because women are, or at least they have been, in charge of for your like family budget, and they would arrange stuff like that. And men would, if I imagine a stereotypical family, there is a man who is kind of like not necessarily an alcoholic, but he loves to drink beer or even like vodka at the weekend. He's always trying to avoid and run away from his wife to his garage to spend time with his friends or go fishing, and the woman would be. So if you are looking for submissive woman, I don't think that a Russian or post-Soviet would be your type necessarily, because Russian women can be very persuasive. They will not obey, silently. That's not how we are raised, I guess. That's not true. I'm not sure if Russian women are more obedient or less obedient than Western women, but at least I cannot tell that they are submissive. So, what do you need to get a Russian woman? I think I'm not gonna be sharing like very unique tips that you've never heard of, but it's pretty basic. First, I think you should be emotionally available. Sounds very corny, but it's true. I think every woman wants an emotionally obedient, emotionally available and stable man that she can rely on. In my opinion, the most repulsive thing that I can like see a man doing is having a tantrum, throwing stuff, yelling, beating like walls. Man should not be this way, especially next to his woman. No way he could like punch someone if there is a danger, right? But a man would never have a tantrum like that, in my opinion. So emotionally available, doesn't have tantrums, reliable. With money, I guess. Guys, let's be real here. Everyone wants money. The whole, especially now in this era of consumption, everyone wants money. Men want money to buy these crazy cars, trucks. Women want money to buy these bags. We are all flawed, or at least the mass, or the image that we are consuming on social media. It's like consume, get more money, get rich. And the thing with having a lot of money, I think it would work not only like with women but with men too. Nowadays men are really into women who are older, who have money. But in my personal opinion, what I am looking for is that personality first. In my opinion, a man should be able to provide at least for himself, like at first, and then maybe when we have a family in the future, of course, it would be nice for a man to be somewhat independent, not like rich, but imagine a woman cannot work while she is pregnant, while she is raising a kid, when it's like 1, 2, 3 years old. It's still preferably like to spend as much time with the baby as possible. Of course you want your man to have some money, but I don't know, it's the same, I think, as men looking for a beautiful, like, super pooper model. You are looking for the genes, and women are looking for the genes and for the best father who would raise their kids. I guess that's all. What else? Honestly, I'm not sure. Don't make too many jokes about Cold War. I don't know. Compliment on her borscht or on her grandma's borscht. Be nice to her babushka. Yes, it's important. You don't want the babushka to hate you. Overall, just be a nice person to get a nice woman, so you become a nice couple and a nice family. That's all. Well, I hope this was not too general, if you have any other questions, I will happily answer them in the comments. Maybe I will do like a girl talk video, because my friend Lumi Smart does them like very, very fun to watch. If you want videos like that, comment. Maybe you dated a Russian woman and you know a little bit more than I do. Share your experience. And guys, I hope that was relaxing and interesting to watch. Thank you very much for staying